there, everybody. Welcome back to Nine Lives Energy. And thank you so much for joining us today. I have not had the pleasure of having Deborah Robinson with me for quite some time. My life has just been chaotic. Her life has been chaotic. And you know what? I love it when I have a friend that I can just pick it up where we left off, like no time had passed. Sometimes we just can't get together like what we want to. And because we have other fires that we have to tend to that just might be taking priorities. If you have not yet subscribed to Nine Lives Energy, make sure that you do. Also, check me out on TikTok, check me out on Instagram, and check me out on YouTube. I'm not that popular on Facebook yet, but that is in the works. I feel like I just get a little bit more traction on Instagram and TikTok, so that's where I'm choosing to show my videos. If you like working out, if you like talking about health and wellness, if you like doing maybe some fun, energetic products to kind of get your energy moving, because I'm Nine Lives Energy, then make sure that you check me out on YouTube. I am a teacher and I like to put my content online because I'm an online fitness educator. So when a student leaves Guilford Tech, they can always find me on YouTube and I can be their teacher forever. I don't have to just close out my relationship with that student once the semester ends or once they graduate and they no longer have access to these students' tools. So, folks, I have not yet checked Jinko out for his walk today because I was out and about this morning early. Make sure that you check him out on Saturdays with Jinko. He's real popular on Instagram. So if you like cat videos, that's another thing that Nine Lives Energy shows on TikTok. So without further ado, Deborah Robinson, how have you been? I know that you said you were taking a break today to meet with me because you are busy making cakes and pies. So tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you and tell us about your pies.
Hello, everybody. I certainly missed the times that we weren't together, but as Chrissy so well stated, you know what? You have to have that flexibility in life to be able that whatever comes up that you're able to take another direction and keep moving. So we knew that this was going to be a wonderful time. And yes, ma'am. That's another part of my life that I enjoy is baking. And I know that I got that good vibe from my mother because she loved the kitchen. She would have her apron on, and I can always sense her energy when I'm in the kitchen baking. And so I did not realize how good my cake and pies were because I had never tasted them. And when I tasted them, I'm like, well, dang, this is good. So I had several orders this time. I make sweet potato pies. I make coconut pies. And this time I had a request for apple pie. So I did an apple pie and then a pound cake.
Okay.
That's as far as I've gotten, but the pies, they're $12 and the cakes are $30. So people do have time. I don't have any more available time for the Thanksgiving holidays, but Christmas is coming. If you want a cake or a pie, you can certainly contact me. My email is floating across the screen. Screen is floating across. So if you want to get in touch with me, a gentleman that picked up his order this morning, and when he took it home, his wife, he sent a response back and said his wife said that my pies were pretty and looked like they had come from a bakery. Well, they did come from a bakery, me.
Yeah,
So
they came from
that's one of the things that I enjoy. And I never thought that it would turn out to be where it would be like baking for money.
mm,
But it has been, and people are enjoying. That's my most important thing. I'm like this when I hear this one word, and it's a sound that people make when they eat that I prepare, and that word is yum or mmm. And so I always look for those two things, and so when I know that those two sounds come after, or either I see their eyes light up. That excites me. So that is a part of the my business, which is called Craft for Healing. So that is part of the that I do too. So that's pretty exciting, which takes us right into our subject today. How were we dealing with this intense energy that has moved on, but at the same time, it left us with something to hold on to, because the day we stepped over into Sagittarius, and Sagittarius actually starts today and goes through the winter equinox. So we're looking for that to happen. And it's their keyword is I seek, I see. And so before we get into the beautiful part of Sagittarius, I want to get that tail end of that intense energy with Scorpio that was happening, because it had a visitor, and that visitor was Mars, which was its ancient ruling planet before Pluto even came on the scene. So it was right at home, and yes, war started just as soon as Mars went into Scorpio. So war is war, and we will keep sending out energy for peace. But that is one of the markings of Mars, is the planet of war, and it's a red planet, and it also has another side of it that is the planet of passion. It is the planet of our physical being, our depthness. And so with it being in Scorpio, and Scorpio is definitely all about transformation, all about regeneration. And I thought of this beautiful analogy with the fall time that started with the Libra cycle. And when the leaves hit the ground, guess what? They're not dead. They are there to, because we usually just rake our yards to make our yards beautiful, and we don't want all the leaves down there. But then they fall into another state. They regenerate, where they become nitrogen for the ground. They become fertilizer for the grass, and insects are under them. I mean, it's like you would think when we said dead leaves, but they take on another form of regeneration. They become more useful for something else. And so the regeneration that Scorpio brings, that transformation. And not only that, it brings up the hidden. And that's the most important thing, because there's wide talking about traumas that we go through when we are small. And traumas actually can start before we actually enter into the world. We can have womb trauma. Trauma is trauma. But at the same time, and some of it definitely is generational and ancestral, but we're learning to work through those things. We are here to transform and regenerate those things. And so also we get to look at those hidden gifts that are there, those hidden talents that are there. And I made mention of my mother, who loved the kitchen, and especially around holiday time, I can still smell how wonderful the kitchen smelled when we were growing up. In me and my sister, we were talking about that this morning. And so the same way the kitchen was smelling around here. So that was a gift that was definitely transferred from my mom, cooking and baking. And so I have thoroughly been all in my element. And so that definitely is, yes, I mean, I understand that we talk about the traumas all the time, but at the same time, when we look and see what our ancestors left for us, boy, when I say thank you, Mama, for the baking, it's not, and I'm not downplaying it by saying, I don't know how to make all these different kinds of cakes. Whatever my lane is, whatever my square is, as one of my friends says so wonderfully, I stand on that, and I do it in the spirit of excellence. And so that's what this Scorpio energy is. It's been so intense. we've had a lot of intense energy. But when you take intense energy and you flip it around from being something that's warring or something that's traumatic, then it becomes an antidote because water is very healing. So not only does Scorpio have that intense energy for transformation, as above my head here, the butterfly symbolizes that transformation. So that is what is happening to, we are all transforming. And so it's the mindset that has to do with the mindset, and the heart set has a lot to do with what we're going to do with this energy. We had a lot of opposites that happened with Taurus and Scorpio, and opposites is called for that opportunity for us to bring balance in our lives. And so the last time that the Sun and Mars were actually conjunct was 11/8 of 1991. And on Friday, we had those two that were conjunct together. So what does that mean? It meant that we're going to have more confidence. We're going to have more confidence. And I'll just use baking as an example. When it goes out the door, that it is going to entreat someone. Is it the most nutritional thing, sweet? It just simply is that, being mindful that it is not, we're eating sweet stuff all the time, all this is a time of celebration. And so, as long as we are doing it in a fashion that, just to enjoy something, and standing in the kitchen and doing that, and like I said, calling up the memories of this gifting that's been transferred from one generation to the next, and it is, and my grandchildren, I love to hear them say, "Are you making coconut pies? Did you make me one?" And then I like to flip it over to them and listen. This is funny because my husband and now my children's father, whenever he attends the family events, guess what? He still has not forgotten that coconut pie. So, making
so
light of this and making
your
light of this, and you're
your
not coming
ex-husband
in
goes
clear.
to your events right now. So your ex-husband goes to family events with you there too?
Well, I call him my husband. I don't X anything,
Ah,
so that's my name. And I heard that from somebody else because I remember at one point in time I was like, I don't like that X stuff, because that was once upon a time story that we were a family, and to have it come to a place of its completion, to the endings. And that's another thing when it comes to the chaotic things in life. We have to realize that they're temporary and they come to endings. And if we live life as such, that things are temporary and not holding on, as the Buddha says, attachment creates suffering. And so as we observe those, even relationships, as we observe relationships to keep them in the temporary, and to me, the temporary is the present moment. And so the more that we are opening up to let the next happen, like I said, when leaves look like they're dead, but they are actually serving a whole nother purpose now. They're fertilizing the ground. They become compost for the ground. And so, this year, my leaves are still out. I would be one of the first ones in my neighborhood because I'm on the corner. So, of course, I want my property to look good. Now, I am going to get them out of the street. But at the same time, I realized now, I was like, wow, I'm not going to be so readily to get those leaves up because I'm appreciating what they are doing in this cycle. They fell from the tree, but they are not dead. They still have a part that they're playing. And so again, when it comes to transformation, where we are transforming from the chaotic things, from the wars and all these different things that are happening, the intense energy, But at the same time, when we realize that Mars has another play and it is giving us our confidence because things are truly changing, things are truly transforming. And so we need confidence to move forward. In the astrology world, being able to sit down, even in my intuitive card readings, when I'm sitting with individuals to help them to see their way to make decisions about the next phase of their lives is so wonderful. And now, like I said, we have approached Sagittarius, and the key word is I seek and I see. And of course, its ruling planet is Jupiter, big Jupiter, the benevolent planet. It actually is a fire sign and it's mutable. It's right in between before Capricorn happens to take us into the winter solstice. So these are some beautiful things. It's the gypsy, it's the student, it's the philosopher, it's the shaman. And so here we are, we got things that are big, and it's like, what are we seeking? And of course, we're seeking truth because as we know, in our conditioning, things have not given the whole truth. And so truths are coming forth. And based on with Jupiter also has to do with our beliefs. And so our beliefs are tied to the conditionings that we have. We're changing all of those things. All of those things are transforming to the point of where that intense energy is playing another role so that we can bring all these things up so that we can truly see differently, so that we can have different perspectives, so that our nows can change. And it's the endless optimist. Jupiter is optimistic. It doesn't know what too much is. It just gives. It doesn't know. But then it gives us the ability to decide, oh, well, that's too much of that. Oh, well, that's not enough of that. Not in the form of missing something or starvation or anything like that. Not that. It just is a giver. And so it helps us also at the same time to keep our nervous system calm, because we've got a lot of stuff going on in our world. But at the same time, as we continue to emit our energy of peace, as we settle the wars that are right around us or within us and transform them and regenerate them, then we've got a lot to look forward to, having an open mind to what's new. And me and my grandson had the most wonderful conversation yesterday. And we were talking about the word wave. I don't know what the new generation talks about, but he informed me yesterday. He said, and they call me Nene. He said, Nene, that's the word for now is wave. I said, for real? So, it's a new wave. It is a new wave, and you've got to tap into it. And it's good. It is.
I like that wave. It makes me think about frequency wave.
And that's what I was just getting ready to say. The frequencies
I didn't mean
are
to take
changing.
it away from you. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I didn't mean to take your words out of your mouth. I apologize.
No, you didn't take a word out of my mouth. I love it when we agree, when things align such. So when I say no worries whatsoever. So this is a time for Thanksgiving. This is a time for gratitude. And I was looking at some of the things that are happening in the heavens now, and I'm like, this is really something to take a look at, because as above is definitely so below. And you've got Mercury that's in Sagittarius, and here you are, you've got these people that are traveling for the holidays, and Sagittarius is definitely about travel, and it has to do with foreign affairs as well.
Think about that. Think about it.
Huh?
Sagittarius, when people travel the most, is for the holidays. And Sagittarius is the sign that's over the holidays.
Yep,
You know, I mean,
exactly.
think about it. That's awesome.
It is.
I didn't mean to throw you off course. I was just taking some notes, and so I just decided to speak on that.
When I say these are good interruptions, so it's not the rudeness and all of that stuff, and you got, honey, when you interject, you interject.
I
So
was
it's
looking at Sagittarius, and I really think that this full moon may be affecting people that have. They need to look at um, where they have Gemini in their chart. And for me, I have Gemini in the 11th house of humanitarian, global awareness, your friends. And I also have Jupiter there at a critical degree of 29. So if you look at your birth chart, folks, and you see where the planet Jupiter is, pay attention to that, because that is where the planet is blessing you the most. And mine is getting blessed in the sign of Gemini, which for me, I feel like that this full moon is crossing over that aspect of my chart. And because of the way that the planets are looking and other relationships that I have, I'm like, I'm being blessed with the ability to communicate. Gemini controls communication. Jupiter is the uh, is in the house of the higher mind, which is in the ninth house, and that's where I have my sun in Aries. So, I feel like this whole last year, I have been just like cleaning house, cleaning house. This doesn't serve me. This serves me. And, you have to kind of look at, okay, well, if Mars is doing all this uh, action type
yes,
energy within whatever sign that it's in, because it does control Aries, which is our first house of self. So it's
definitely.
asking us, which we also have the North Node in Aries, is asking us to take a look at ourselves and how we show up in the world with all the relationships that we have, the relationship to money, the relationship to um, food, the relationship that we have with other people, the relationship that you have with work, the relationship with what you have with yourself. When you look at yourself in the morning, are you telling yourself you can do it? I'm a star. Are you making good choices in the morning? How are you treating yourself? Are you treating yourself the same that you would, your best friend? Mars also controls Scorpio in traditional astrology. So they do have, in my opinion, the same type of action warrior type energy. However, when I look at the Scorpios in my life, because I love Scorpios and I always look to them for advice. And when I look at on the astrological wheel, Aries is in the first house. And so if you count all the houses going around, Scorpio is in the eighth house. And to me, it looks like that person is an evolved Mars at this point. An evolved Mars that knows what their resources are, knows what their mindset is, knows how to handle their emotions, knows how to create, knows how to have good, healthy habits, knows how to have good relationships, or maybe not. And then it's like, okay, well, what are you learning in Scorpio? Are you going to keep that relationship that you have with all these things, or are you not? And if you don't want to, okay, then what are we supposed to be learning next? Because that's Sagittarius, higher mind, travel, expansion. It controls religion. It controls spirituality. And then it's like, okay, well, after you construct that with yourself, how are we going to put it within our structures of our lives?
Yeah.
Are we going to do that with good habits? Are we going to be doing that with good systems that we have in place in order to go to where it is that we are supposed to be in our soul's journey? And then it's like, okay, well, after I know what I'm supposed to be in my career and I have all this education from Sagittarius in my ninth house, now I'm going to go over into the house of, all right, global awareness, humanitarian projects. What are you going to do with this information? How are you going to
Yeah.
be able to expand and help other people, not just help your house of self, Aries, but what are you going to do in order to help yourself, but also help other people? And
Those
then
are some
let's
very good
reevaluate that,
questions.
the subconscious, like why are we doing the things that we're doing? Neptune, I have Neptune in the fifth house. And then it's drawn aspects to Mars and Cancer in the 12th. So, There's this meme, and I wish I could, I need to find it. And it's talking about, where did you sit on the school bus? And I just started busting out laughing because it said the first part of the school bus are the weirdos, and the middle part of the school bus are the loud people, and the back of the school bus is future alcoholics and drug addicts. And I just started busting out laughing. I told my brother, I said, let's not tell anybody where we sat.
Uh-oh.
But you know what? Guess what? I feel like I have evolved, and now I'm the weirdo in the family. People look at me like three heads when I start talking about astrology, and I said, I've evolved. I went into the middle of the school bus, and I was that loud patriot for 3 years. And then it's like, okay, so now I'm going to be the weirdo who posts all these funny things on social media, and then I'm also, into astrology. We're gonna keep an eye on that girl. She ain't right.
that is.
So I moved up to the front of the bus. I'm driving the bus now. Doesn't it feel good to drive your own bus?
It does when you talk
about not being toted around by anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the front of the bus driving your own bus. What a magnificent journey it has been this year. And I'm really excited for the next year. Really excited. And you were talking about your husband. I like that. And do you spell it W-U-Z, or do you spell it W-U-S or W-A-S?
Yes, I've never had to write it. I've always said it. So, I would think it was W-A-S. B-A-N-D, husband.
Yeah, husband.
I'll put it that way.
I like to create new words. We should do W-U-Z, the was. The was.
That sounds like something would happen too, but yes, indeed. When I say for real, and I mean to hit the highlights of what you were talking about in regards to, the full moon that's coming up. I think it's on the 27th. It is that full moon that's in Gemini.
What part of your chart is it going to be affecting?
Gemini is my 12th house.
Okay.
Yeah, my 12th house. So, definitely the 12th house is Pisces, those hidden, because water, that's me all day long. It's always has to do with what I feel, because I'm a very feely with my Cancer being my sun sign, and then Pisces is my moon sign, and my rising sign is Cancer too. And so, the more that I look at water, and I have to go on feeling, it's just that divine nature part of me. And you're talking about Jupiter. Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo for me, which is my third house. Gemini is my third house. So Jupiter for me has to do with, again, like you said, making those decisions, getting those things in order, what my day-to-day is. And we've talked about routine before. And so my day-to-day is wake up. I'm always looking at, what's going to happen today. Jupiter being in Virgo, I have a very strong gift of service. I'm always there for individuals, and I had to accept that and bring it into balance. It is definitely a gift of being of service, and I do that. And I know when I drop down into that part of me, so that is my communication when I'm sitting across from someone, or someone is calling for counsel or whatever, then that Jupiter drops in, that it gives off that optimism, it gives off that inspiration. So my day to day, with Jupiter being in my Virgo, is organizing, being ready to be that optimist. And at one point in time, I was bothered by being an optimist, because people look at you, what's the matter with you? No, things cannot be that good. Yes, they can be that good. And I have allowed that to be that part of my being that it is. And so when it comes to, like I said, with Gemini being in my 12th house, I don't have any planets there whatsoever. However, I do know that that's one of my strong suits is communication. And I love it. I'm very skilled at it. And, it's like hey, why hide it? I love it. And the little two apart. It's wonderful. Gemini and writing. I don't write as much as I used to, and I keep saying that I'm going to get back to it because that's where the writer, the journalist, is the storyteller. And that is a gift that I have as well, too. You know, the storytellers, the different things that occur in my life. I turn them around to be a story to help others to see that healing is possible in their lives. That's why I said, like, you know, with the ex thing, when you talk about husband, that's a whole different thing because it was once upon a time.
Yeah. So people say that I have a dysfunctional, functional family because even though my parents divorced when I was 5, I know no different as far as them having a good relationship in my adulthood. And I told somebody, I said, you know, I may have had a challenge in childhood, but I didn't have a challenge in adulthood. And my challenge in adulthood was because of decisions that I had made myself, not because of decisions of my parents. But you know what? Sometimes, you know, we have to kind of take a look at, and it's like, you can blame certain things that happen in your childhood for the experiences in your adulthood, and that's fine and dandy. You are allowed. But at some point, you're going to have to take full responsibility and say, do you want to continue to show up like that and blame that or use that as a victim mentality? Or do you want to rise above that and choose a different path? Because the different path is so much better because everybody has childhood trauma, you know, but and it causes us to show up a different way. It causes us to sit in the back of the bus.
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you, I have one friend, Christy, who has said,
but then as we work on ourselves, we start moving, you know, up to the closer to the front of the bus. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. And anyway,
funny.
but you know, my parents, it took them a long time to get to where they are now. They've actually been married to my step parents longer than they were ever married to each other. And I look at the stuff that's in my mom's birth chart and I show her where my dad is and I show her where my brother is and I show her where I am, and everything points to like, hey, we're supposed to be doing, you know, some type of social media stuff together. She's got Leo where I have Jupiter, and I'm a Leo rising in the 11th house. And it's pointing to her 5th house of Aquarius. And that's where Leo is supposed to be. She's also got the North Node there. So she is supposed to be creating something that's supposed to be helping humanity with me and her daughter. And then there's also a line pointing up to the Venus in Aries in her 8th house of transformation. And also, I'm also in her house of relationships as well. So guys, make sure that tonight you check out Mama Mosa's. We are doing our Thanksgiving special. And my mom and I, we decided to do this a few weeks ago because I said, Mom, just try some of these healthcare products. You know how they have changed my life. I have been able to lose 30 pounds. I don't wake up in pain anymore. I can pretty much eat what I want to. I have endless energy and creativity. Isn't that what we all want? So anyway, I'm promoting some of these products that have helped me. But tonight, we are going to be prepping for Thanksgiving. And we are also making a Christmas craft because, folks, guess what? Making a homemade craft is so much better than buying anything at the store. So make sure that you check this out. Get some ideas about how you can make a handmade craft and see how much people would love something like that that's very inexpensive. It just takes a little bit of your time, a little bit of creativity. Listen to my mom, chit-chat it up. You know, we're talking about relationships right now. And, you know, the Aries North Node, me, Sun in Aries, is her daughter. And so I'm like, you know what, if I want to start using some of this Mars and Scorpio action, let's clean up what we don't need. Let's take the action to do it. And then let's do the part of Sagittarius, which is, okay, now I got room for all these new things that I want to add to my plate. So check this stuff out. This is going to be fun tonight. And our motto is, you don't have to drink to have a good time and sit in the back of the school bus. You can go hang out with your mama. So come and check us out tonight. Learn about some of these healthcare products. Make a craft with us and watch us prep for Thanksgiving. So that should be kind of fun. So,
What time,
what?
Chrissy?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, the time is going to be 7 o'clock tonight.
Eastern
7 o'clock.
Standard Time?
So I forgot to put that on there, but I'm glad that you reminded me. 7 o'clock tonight, Mama Moses. You don't have to drink to have a good time. Go hang out with your mama. We started doing this whenever we started doing our Thanksgiving hangout in 2019 when my stepdad passed away. And so in February of 2019, my stepdad passed away, and my cat also passed away at the beginning of the month. So my mom and I kind of leaned on each other. Well, about 6 months later, I moved into the house that I have now. But I said, Mom, Thanksgiving was such a beautiful time for our family. And, my stepdad loved to cook. And, when I say we do Thanksgivings, like my dad, my real dad, the one that was divorced from my mom at 5 years old, with my stepmom come over to the house for Thanksgiving. They come over for birthday parties. They come over for Christmas. And Wayne was just the amazing cook. I didn't want my mom waking up that morning and not having that, And so I said, let's get together and we're going to do something different for Thanksgiving. And so that's become our tradition. We've done it ever since. So this will be 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. This will be the 5th year that we're doing it. And I spend the night at her house on Thanksgiving. And then I get up, we eat breakfast together. I bought some donuts this morning. So we're not always eating healthy over here at Nine Lives Energy. But anyway, it's something that, just because, folks, you have a bad experience, Thanksgiving's for a lot of people, and a lot of these holidays aren't the same like they used to be. I used to make something. This is why I like people like Deborah. I'm paying somebody to make me something at Thanksgiving because I don't have the time. And I know that this person, when someone makes something for you like that, it doesn't matter if it's bad or not, like calorie wise, the fact that that person put love and energy into what they made.
Yeah.
You get to eat that. You get to be a recipient of something that they put love into. You're experiencing love on a frequency level. So that frequency that you get from that pie that Deborah made is going to be way better than anything that you get at the store. And I'm not saying that the person didn't love their job that made that pie, but there's going to be a little bit more specialness to it when you get it homemade, like from Deborah. So make sure, guys, if you want something for the holidays, we got birthday parties coming up still. People have Christmas parties coming up. You definitely have the holidays coming up. And if you are tagged and, have to bring a dessert, then get somebody to make it for you. That's a whole lot cheaper than going to the store. And you get to taste the people are going to be asking you, where did you get this cake? Where did you get this pie? And I'm going to tell you what, the last time that I tried to see Deborah Robinson, she lied to me. She was like, come and see me at my booth at this event. I was like, okay. I drove around for 25 minutes and I could not find her. And I texted her, I was like, honey, I don't know what you're doing and what kind of event is going on, but good luck. I can't even find a place to park. So anyway, that's how popular Deborah Robinson is with her birth chart readings and with her cakes and pies. You're going to be waiting in line, folks. You're going to be waiting in line. You better call her right now. Her email's right below.
That's too funny. That was a good plug. I like it, though.
Yes. Well,
Exactly.
I'm plugging Mama Moses, and so I wanted to help you as well. Deborah and I are going to get together in December. I've got some time off, and guess what? I can't wait because we're going to be in the sign of higher mind and education, and I'm going to be teaching Deborah how to do some of this stuff behind the scenes. I think that, she needs to be doing her own channel. I think she needs to be Mars and Aries, kind of pushing her to do some different stuff. So be on the lookout at what transformation that Deborah Robinson might be having in 2024. I see good things in her future.
Exactly. I do too. That's the thing about that Sagittarius I see. And you were talking about the North Nodes, my North Nodes in Scorpio. So that's my fifth house, so it's like, wow. And then my Mars is in the sign of Leo. So
Okay.
that's my second house. And again, folks, if you are saying, what in the world are they talking about? Hey, these things actually help you to align with the transits that are happening in the astrology world day to day, that's happening in the cosmos. Again, what's happening in the heavens is happening here on the earth, and to be able to look at what we call aspects and see how they're aligning. And when I was listening to Chrissy, how she has compared her mother's chart and alongside hers to see, and it's almost like, you were describing to me, what your mother has created through you. And I'm like, wow, that's something, we're supposed to be doing something special. Well, you are special, honey. And, the different talents that you have, and it's passed down. And that's what we have to be mindful of, because also when it came to Scorpio too, that was the time doing the Halloween, and that had to do with honoring those that have passed on, and not only in a physical, but the things that generations have brought forward through us. It's still alive. It's still alive. And so we are, and like you said, with that Mars energy, the action, what actions are we taking? Yes, again, it is a lot of chaos. I don't take that from that. Yes, there's been a lot of trauma. And I will say that I have one friend who she says, and I take it for her word, she knows her life. She said that she has not didn't experience trauma coming up. She always had this optimistic out. It looked like you lost me. Oh, there I am.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
so,
the outlook.
yeah, she just has a wonderful outlook on life, and said that, she didn't experience trauma. And I'm like, wow. And so probably in her past life, she got all of that out. And this was a whole different experience with this particular time. So, as we move forward, the Mama Moses, and you have a wonderful mother. I've met her one time at an event when we both were saying, we wish we could find each other, and we found each other. So there was a divine connection that brought us back together after, from the initial time that we met one another. And your mother was just so humble. She really was. And we had the best conversation, and she was there helping you. So again, and I saw on the news yesterday where there's a lady in New York that has opened a place where she focuses on non-alcoholic beverages. And so and the point of it is that you can have a good time without the alcohol. And so there was a psychologist, I think she was a psychologist, and she was talking about that it's been rumored around that alcohol relaxes you. And she said, that's definitely a misnomer. It does not. It can actually raise your blood pressure, and it can actually contribute to kidney disease as well as cardiovascular disease. So that is something, those things that we want to be mindful of, that the therapies that we're offering, the energies that we're offering, is in lieu of, to be able to help us to heal and to be able to live the abundant life that we actually can.
Awesome. Well, folks, don't forget to check me out on YouTube. And if you want to make an appointment with Deborah, again, her information is scrolling across the bottom. It's also in the description of this video. Please make sure that you like and share this video. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in working out and getting some information on health and wellness products. And if you want to see what Miss Smith had on at school today, I wear my crazy fun outfits at work. And what better way to celebrate life and your authenticity than to just dress fun at work? And, I just try to be myself wherever I go. And, the reason I started doing this, a couple of reasons. Not many people know this about me, but I had an eating disorder when I was 14. And so I've never had a good relationship with food until this year, I'll be honest. between having the eating disorder to having the competition diets that, work to be on stage, but they don't work long term. Nobody can keep that up. And so this is why I started doing the frequency technology so that I could heal my body from the inside out. We can't say heal, but in other words, I would write down what I wore to school every single day when I was age 14 because I didn't want to wear the same thing twice. And this was I think a side effect of perfectionism, which went along with the eating disorder. And when you start like pointing back to things, I'm like, okay, well, because I had, a choppy childhood living from my mom and my dad to my grandparents, that maybe was something I couldn't control, but something that I could control when I got to be a teenager in an unhealthy way. Write down what I wore to school every day and abuse myself with over exercising and not eating food. That is not a way for healthy control. But what I've done is I'm like, a way to kind of celebrate my funness is I wear all these fun clubbing clothes that I used to wear to the clubs. And so now I make these videos and I put them on as shorts on TikTok, Instagram, and also YouTube. And it's called, What Did Miss Smith Wear at School Today? So check it out. I'm always wearing my cat ears or something fun and something furry, it seems like. And I just try to be fun. And anyway, check that out. That's a different healthy way to see what I wore to school every day without having to write it down because I felt like somebody might see something. And some days I don't make a video. It's all right. I still wear a fun outfit. But another reason that I wear all these fun outfits is because for 20 plus years, I had to wear all black to work as a personal trainer. Now, I don't know if it was because I didn't feel comfortable. And so I'd wear all black bottoms, and myself. Or was it a part of the standard routine that I had at one of my jobs? Nonetheless, I had to wear all black. And so by the time, 9 o'clock got around, I had already worked out and taught a bunch of classes and trained a bunch of people having to wear all those black clothes. So I just went and taught my full-time job in that same outfit, all dark clothes. And then I go back to the gym wearing all dark clothes. And I'm like, you know what? I don't hardly have any dark clothes anymore. Yes, I have on a black cap, but I'm wearing a bright, fun shirt that reminds me of fire energy because we just got into Sagittarius and it's not red, it's immutable. So it's kind of like a fire orange,
It is.
It's not pretty, yellow like Leo sun. It's not red like Aries. It's in between. It's orange. And it has little flowers on it and leaves because we are growing our fire type energy in a mutable way, not some of the every sign has got their good and not so favorable qualities. And so the fire signs have unfavorable qualities too, including impulsiveness, including anger. Okay, so let's mute that. Let's do the mutable Sagittarius. What have we learned that maybe we might want to kind of, I've been showing up like that as an angry person. How can I mute that energy? And we can't throw the anger away. We just have to learn from it and just say, okay, the opposite of anger is what? Probably forgiveness or love, whatever you want to throw at it. Say, I want to release this, ability of being angry at this situation and say, I'm just going to send love and light to that situation and love and light to myself for all those years that I may have showed up as a fiery something else that wasn't so favorable.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, went off on a tangent there. Make sure that you subscribe to this if you liked it. And Deborah, any closing remarks?
Happy Thanksgiving or happy holidays or just happy family time, however you celebrate it, long as we're around one another. And give somebody a hug. Hugs are power-filled. And that's it.
Okay, and pay attention to which side of the body that you hug on. I'm trying to tell people to hug on the heart side. Hug on the heart side because I hug on the opposite side. Just try to pay attention to that. And it may feel uncomfortable at first, but maybe there could be some type of block there, but that's how we're supposed to hug each other, is on heart to heart. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And write down every single day at least 3 things that have made you happy for that day. It is a good practice to get into because every day is a gift. It is absolutely a gift. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Happy
Yes.
Thanksgiving. Don't forget to tune into Mama Moses. Mama Moses.